This is another case that we live in almost too good of circumstances, and our bodies are paying a price for it because if we don't push ourselves a little bit harder, then we lose. We're just gonna continue to lose things that are locked in our body already, as you said it, like in our DNA and in our bone structure. That's that's mind blowing to me. I never thought about breathing this way. So then, what are some things that we can do for kids, and then also what are some things we could do as an adult? Because when you mentioned someone sleeping with their mouth open, I instantly thought, well, should we just tape their mouth closed? Like, it's just, there's tape out there for that. So what are some of the things that you would recommend that we do for our kids and for adults?
Yeah, so for kids, I'm going to say the first thing that we need to do as parents of children and having that responsibility is to educate ourselves and become aware of what it is that we're supposed to be looking for as parents.
Hmm.
I think also, in addition to educating ourselves, it takes a village, Mark. So I think, the more and more parents who are educating themselves and pushing for the right answers can educate other healthcare providers and practitioners so that these healthcare providers know what they should be looking for too. And the things that adults, parents should be looking for in their children is that open mouth posture, even just a little bit, where the mouth hangs open. Breathing through the mouth day or night or both, snoring even just a little bit, heavy chest breathing. A small child that has anxiety already at the age of 3 or 4 is not natural.
Yeah.
It's because, yeah, it's the brain isn't functioning properly. I've seen little children come in. A little boy came in, he was 4 years old, and he drew me a picture of everything he's afraid of. And in his picture, that's what he drew me. At the age of 4, I wanted to cry. I really wanted to cry because how's that going to go for him over the next, 30 years of his life? It's not good. Other things, night terrors, bedwetting, those are associated with poor breathing habits while a child is asleep and even awake, can contribute to that as well. Picky eating, speech issues, chronic ear infections, um, ear tubes, enlarged tonsils and adenoids. We've had, children avoid tonsillectomies, so surgery, advanced surgeries, just by changing how they breathe and getting their jaws to grow in the right way. Those are things that parents should be looking for.
Mm.
Even just a little bit of crooked teeth. That's another one that's so common. Every kid's getting palatal expanders and braces. Why are the teeth crowded in the mouth? It's because the mouth is too small. If you look at skulls from 10,000 years ago, Mark, nobody needed braces back then. They had Hollywood smiles even though there was no TV. It's because they were growing the way that they were supposed to. So these are things that parents should look for and not settle for just surface answers from their healthcare practitioners. And then, what children can do is exercise, which is what we do here, which I can, talk about further if you want. But as far as adults goes, yeah, mouth taping is simple. We could just put some tape over our mouth. I even had once a dental patient tell me he puts duct tape over his mouth. I'm like, okay, that's a little weird. They do make other kinds of tape, and he says, and it's only when I'm drinking, that I snore and I breathe through. I'm like, it's probably not safe. Let's not do that. So I guess what I would say is if someone is going to mouth tape, they need to understand and know the right ways of doing it before, they get involved with that. But mouth taping doesn't solve the whole problem. It closes the hole, but it doesn't strengthen the muscle function. So even adults can exercise their oral muscles to change their oral habits and where their tongue rests and because there's a lot to this, where their tongue is positioned and how their lips work, so that they can have a good night's sleep. So
Wow.
that's what I would suggest for adults.
How would you exercise? What are those exercises?
Yeah. So you can do traditional myofunctional exercises like lip pops and tongue clicks and all this stuff. It's time consuming and it's kind of hard. We use a patented oral myofunctional exerciser. It looks like this. It's from the Myofunctional Research Center. It exercises the tongue, so that you can see, you push this up with your tongue. So your tongue gets nice and strong. We do push-ups and planks for tongues.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. And believe you me, when you do that, you feel it just like you do if you were going to do a full body push-up or plank. We exercise the lips, so that the round circular muscle around the lips
Mm-hmm.
is firm and it can hold the lips closed. And we exercise those jaw muscles so that the muscles that hold the jaw to the skull, like you were saying, you have that pit bull head,
Mm-hmm.
so those muscles are nice and strong, because when you're a child and you're developing those muscles, that helps to develop the jaw joint, and it makes the jaw joint strong and healthy too. And then there's airway exercises with this too, to actually strengthen your airway. So this is like a little gym. I think your producer said you were coming from the gym today, probably training your athletes. This is like a little gym for your mouth. You bring the gym to your mouth, and that's what
Man.
this does. And I know it works because I use it on these children all the time. I've used it on adults. I've used it on myself, and it works.
And where can I will make sure that there's a link and all that stuff, but um, where can people buy them?
Yeah, they can buy them through us or anybody who distributes those appliances.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
so it is considered a medical device, so you have to get it through just someone who's authorized to distribute it. You
Mm-hmm.
can't just buy it online, because there's the exercises should be supervised, at least to some extent. With children especially, we have a very structured regimen program for the children. For adults, it's much easier. And many of the adult parents on our program, as we're going through all these signs and symptoms, they have these aha moments and they say, well, that's what I do, or I grind my teeth, or I clench, or I wake up several times a night, or, and they say, can you help me? And then we say, yeah, we can get you on an exercise program. And we have some other oral appliances too, should they need it. It works great for athletes. I know that, I'm not very athletic myself. I'm more mentally athletic, I like to say, than I am physically athletic. But I know that there were a lot of athletes, and are a lot of athletes that are training with mouth tape,
Mm-hmm.
because they want to exercise and have longer endurance and better
Mm-hmm.
and faster muscle recovery.
Yep.
Which, if they're breathing through their nose, those are the results that they get. So this would be like a way to come off of the mouth tape, that paired with the breathing
Yeah.
exercises.